Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's FPL BlackBox ahead of Gameweek 15. My name is Az. I have had a root canal at the dentist this morning, so apologies if I'm a little bit numb on the mouth.
That is fine.
What's worse, Mark, FPL or getting a root canal at the dentist?
Well, if I was your season, it's definitely FPL.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear. Did it go wrong again? I noticed you've got a little red arrow there again.
Of course it went wrong again. Of course it always goes wrong. I'm finding new ways to cause myself problems. Even bought in the player that I was slating on the last episode. Got loads of comments in the chat about how wrong I was. What a great finisher Darwin is, people were saying in the chat. Oh, yeah. Done a good job, didn't he?
Well, we're going to do a post-mortem on the Darwin Watkins decision, no doubt, aren't we? Going to do a little bit of that. What else we got?
Well, we got goalkeepers. We've got the new Vogue goalkeeper coming in. Last week we were talking about Kelleher, weren't we? This week it's all about Dubravka with Pope's injury. We're going to try and condense things into a little bit of a shorter stream.
Yeah. How successful are we going to be at that?
Well, I think what we do, right, is we use the screens as a kind of guide rather than going too much. We make this quite interactive. We'll take some comments from the chat. I can see we've already got one from Kenneth that I'll answer now. Thanks for the Monday evening stream. Also enjoyed Mark's weekend ramblings. Yeah, good video again, Mark. Ahead of that. Thank you very much.
In the snow. I couldn't resist getting out in the snow.
Yeah, I know. Great. Yeah, it was weird. You didn't go back to Bulgaria, did you? Was that
No, that was Nottingham.
Did
you not take any attention? I was outside the castle. Yeah, it was good.
Well, the last message you sent me was I'm not going because the trains are on strike.
Oh, yeah, then you text me after the game going, I bet you're glad you didn't go to that terrible game. Yeah. I was like, yeah, thanks, Az. I'm actually just left the ground.
Oh my God, that must have been a bad one. Is that one of the worst games you've been to in a while?
That was the worst performance, and actually, not only that, it was the worst football match I'd seen at the City Ground for a long time. Because we lost to Brighton, but at least Brighton played really well, and we did a right second half. And I don't mind losing when the other team are like a decent, but Everton weren't no great shakes at all. And the fact we lost, there's a lot of frustration. I'm on Forest Focus, the new podcast from the team that bought you Garibaldi Red. I'm on that on Wednesday. So yeah,
is that the full time, right? Full time podcast?
What? Not my full time.
Not yours. No.
They've
gone.
They've gone. Matt's.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Matt's. Yeah. So look out for me and doing bits for them this season as well. Yeah,
that's really fun. Yeah, very nice.
You're not enough for me, Az. I have to branch out.
I know you're everywhere these days. You're having a good season, 86k in the world, doing about 5 podcasts a week. Yeah,
I'm anybody's really. Yeah.
I went back to so the Game Week 15's episode last year. Interesting, I was wearing the same jumper.
Okay.
And I didn't want to change it.
Were you wearing the same rank as well?
You were wearing a similar rank to me now. Right. Actually, quite a bit worse. You were 4.1 million at this stage last season.
So and there's people like Swats in the chat. He knows what it's like to have a bad rank and work your way up from that. I mean, obviously he had a bad rank for other reasons.
Yeah.
But famously hacked, of course. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a few people like the above average guys, their pod. I think Adam in particular is struggling with it. It is hard. Like last year, when you're ranked 4 million, you have to come on and do content. It's tough. Yeah. It's really tough. And I think there's a few content creators feeling it this season, and I know exactly how it feels because I went through it probably to an even greater extreme because I was doing badly when the majority were doing well. Whereas I think this season there's quite a few.
At least there's a few of us. Yeah. Do you know I had my first. I've had some pretty low moments with FPL over the years. Everyone has, right? That's why we play. We play it for the lows, play it for the ups and the downs. But when Watkins scored that goal in the 90th minute and I'd taken him out for a hit, I genuinely just thought to myself, I'm done with this. I'm done with this game.
You text me and go, you know what? It's getting me down now.
Like, genuinely, the first time I can really recall just feeling...
Let me say 2 points. Oh, first of all, we should say thanks very much for Jani for throwing his audience over.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
The Jani raid, so thanks, Jani. Love you. Secondly, calm down, right? It wasn't 11 points, first of all. It was 9 points because Darwin got us 2 points, right? So the difference is 9. Also, if you're looking at... Okay. Oh, yeah. Move on.
Oh, thanks, Mark. Your kind words have really soothed my soul.
It's 13 points. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Get on with your misery.
No, it's one less because Mbeumo's outscored Diaby by 1, so I'm taking that off.
Right. Okay. Yeah, but also, like, and I'll say this now, right? When we made the move from Watkins to Darwin, we knew that if Watkins was going to play one of these 3 games, we knew the Bournemouth game was the one he's most likely to get returning, right? And you can say, well, Darwin's Fulham at home was the one he's most likely to get returning. Maybe, but not if he starts Sheffield United. And you never know Palace as well, right? So, for me, I'm 9 points down. But will Watkins score against Man City? Will he score against Arsenal? I don't know. He could. They're at home and they're really good at home. And City, they're conceding goals, so could do. But it's not over yet. And
it's not
I put
over.
this at the weekend, and Seb came back and said, well, it is about this week because people can still move Watkins out to Darwin ahead of 15. Let's see how many do that, shall we? Because I can't imagine many will. Because, quite frankly, recency bias does play a part in people's minds, and also they've just seen City concede 3 goals. So I don't think many are going to move Watkins out for Darwin now, because it's a smaller window as well, because you'll want Watkins back for 18. So you'll look at it and think, well, it's only a couple of games, they're both at home, etc., etc. The case is more difficult. The case was easier for us because he was flagged, for God's sake.
I know.
That was the other thing. So we've got to give ourselves a break on it, I think.
I think I just had that feeling was like, nothing I did in this situation would have been right. If I'd left Watkins, I'd have managed to get Archer off the bench with 1 point. And it's obviously it's not all about me. I mean, a lot of it is about me. I'm the main character in this.
Yes, protagonist.
The protagonist. Yeah, but I don't know. I was just frustrated because I'm 2 million in the world. I've got an orange flag player. Maybe this is a chance to kind of move and try something a bit different. And then you try and do something a bit different, and just bam, 11 points. Darwin blanking, numerous misses. It's like, oh, ouch.
Yeah. It does hurt, but that's FPL, right?
It's FPL.
And the thing is, we have to make changes every week, so we have to make decisions. You can burn transfers if you want to, but we're not going to do that. That's not playing the game, is it? I mean, there's a lot made of, if I've made no transfers, I'll be 10 points better off. But you're not going to play the game like that. No one's going to do that. So, there's going to be outcomes that don't go our way. That's part of playing FPL. That's fine. Interesting, there's people in the chat saying, he won't play Wednesday. I had a look at this. Darwin won't start, Gakpo will. Maybe not, because Diaz has started the last 2, right? So is Diaz going to start 3 games in a week? Maybe not. Maybe Darwin or Gakpo will play left, which they're both capable of doing. So everyone's saying, Gakpo's going to come in for Darwin. What about Diaz? Is he going to play the 3? Because he started in Europe, got subbed on 56 for Darwin, but he started at the weekend. So is he going to play 3 games in a row? Because Darwin, if he starts on Wednesday, isn't playing 3 games in a row. He's playing 2 in a row. So I actually think Diaz is the most likely to make way, and Gakpo and Darwin might start left-hand side. So
what do you make of Darwin in general, like, under Klopp? Because I think last week we kind of talked about
what do I make of him.
Well, he's like we know he's frustrating. I mean, I got quite a lot of flack in the comments like of the video for saying he was the worst finisher I've ever seen for a top team. Didn't see anything against Fulham to make me kind of second guess that. But from a manager perspective, I mean, that was a close game. Liverpool could easily have lost that. It relied on some stunners, really, from Trent and McAllister to kind of see them through, and a couple of last-minute goals. If they had lost that game, surely he's looking at Darwin and thinking, that's another 2 or 3 big chances missed in this match.
He missed 2 big chances. I don't know if you want to bring his data up at this point as we're discussing him, because we've got a table which shows how incredibly
Monday
scary
night.
his consistency
We're all over the
is.
place.
All right, okay. Yeah, it's fine. Just go bring it up. But
which one do you want?
Yeah.
Season?
The Darwin compare table that I did. Have you got that?
Oh, no.
Oh, you didn't do it, did you?
No.
Okay.
I could put it in.
I WhatsApped it to you. Grab it. I WhatsApped it to you. It's in there under... It's under Darwin Compare, I think, in Core Files.
Yeah, you did.
Because that basically, drop it into the screen or drop it into blank screen. Because what's really interesting about that is how he compares and how consistent he's been over the 2 seasons so far. I don't know if that's comforting or not. Probably not, because he's basically
consistently.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous how consistent his numbers is. Like, we think he's a player growing, but actually there's not much sign of that. It looks like he's staying very close to his numbers from last season. I'll let you play with that and I'll keep rambling. This isn't working well in terms of getting a quicker show, is it?
I've just downloaded it. I can't find it. Let's find what folder it's gone into.
Oh, God, dear me. Live on air, we're struggling. But yeah, I get your point. I mean, he wasn't the best performer on show. I don't think Diaz played particularly well either, though. So, there was some criticism for him. Yeah, these are his numbers, 23-24 versus 22-23. And at first glance, yeah, he's stronger for last season. But then, this isn't per match. Not all of it's per match. So the top half is total data. Look at the... Look at it, though. If you look at it, it's like he's played roughly half the minutes. He's scored roughly half the goals.
Yeah.
He's got more assists, though. He's got roughly half the touches in the box. He's got exactly half the shots. He's got almost exactly half the shots in the box. So, like, if you look at his
crazily, isn't it?
If you look at his per 90s, they're almost identical. But also look at his accuracy: 41% last year, 40.5 this year. Conversion this year 9.5, last year 10.7. It's unbelievably close to his data last year. And you go down to XGI non-penalty per 90, that's identical, 0.79. So what we're seeing really is not really Darwin Mark II yet. So there's two things here. Do you get depressed and go, oh, he's not getting better? Then we're destined to get another, 4 or 5 goals out of him, and that's all, because that's what he got last year. Maybe not, because I think he'll get more minutes than 1,600 that he got last year. Oh, he's thrown in a little picture now. Like, that makes all the difference. He's trying to make it up to me by making it aesthetically pleasing. Does that help the lister?
There's no title.
What does the viewer think? Do they like that? Yeah, I think I look at it and think, well, he's still got that jump to go. He's still got that improvement that's coming, surely. And it might just come mid-season, and it might be that we own him at that point. So I'm still optimistic that he'll be a big fancy asset for us this season. Certainly, hopefully next season. Will it be when I own him? I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to hold him for.
I mean,
I think I need to go back to Watkins for 18 for sure.
I mean, the main difference with him that I'm seeing is general, like, all round play is better. Like he had a pretty big part in both the goals, both the last goals.
Yeah.
In fact, he got the ball, passed it, quickly moved it on. A bit like Haaland in the Spurs game. There was a goal when I don't think he got the assist from it, but Haaland won the ball back kind of on the edge of the Spurs penalty area. Straight away laid it off, I think, to Doku, whoever was on the left, and then the ball came in. And Darwin's got better at that. His reading of the game is really good. He's obviously got the physical threat. Everything is really good in that sense, and that's why Klopp is made him first choice. He's playing every minute, but his conversion rate's gone down from 10.7 to 9.5.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
so he has got to start scoring.
Why did he whack that shot? Like he was running through. Salah put the through ball with lovely pace ball, and he took it at full pace, gave it full power. It's like playing FIFA, going, I'm going to power up this shot.
I've held circle too long. Oh no!
Yeah, why does he need to do that when he had enough? He's got enough pace to get away from the defender where he can slow himself down, pick his spot, and he just doesn't do that at the moment. I don't know. He's got
finesse. We've seen him finesse shots into the net. The two against Newcastle, the one he scored in the Europa League. Like he can do it.
You know what though? And there was people saying on, I think at Price, he said, well, at least he's owning people who have just got Darwin have got a consistent experience with what it's been like to own him before, and it has been that. I liken it to move into London. It's like when you don't live in London, you look at London, you think, oh, it's amazing, big city, it's going to be so exciting. Then you move to London and you get it out of your system and it's a bit of a shit show and you move out again. And that's what it feels like owning Darwin. It's like, it looks so exciting, it looks fun. Oh my God, I can't wait to watch matches. And then you go, oh my God, this is bloody awful. Yeah. I can't wait to get rid, basically.
I know.
And that's what it's like. Yeah.
No
offence to people who live in London.
I mean,
quite a few, apparently.
So much offence. Yeah, I mean, I bought him for 3 weeks. That was always the key. I don't like owning him. Everyone describes him as chaos. Everyone knows he's got that kind of, he's got a 20-pointer in him at some point. We just don't know. It's probably going to be, like I said, I think I said last week, it's going to be against like Arsenal, isn't it? Like at home when everyone's moved him back to Watkins or something in a few weeks. But yeah, he is very frustrating, and that was a very frustrating match. I think it's the first time I've ever owned Darwin in FPL. Have you owned him before?
It's me.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. What do you think?
Oh my God.
Anyway,
it wouldn't have been too bad if Watkins hadn't gone off. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, the minute he was on the team sheet, you think, well, he'll probably get a return out of that. But I did expect Darwin to get something. I mean, he's been involved in 48% of Liverpool's goals when on the pitch, and Liverpool go and score 4 goals and he gets nothing at all. So a little, People will say, well, that's not unlucky. You knew what you were getting, right? That's exactly what I would say to someone who's just bought Darwin. So I can't beat them up for saying that. I wouldn't.
I've got a wild stat about my other misfiring player in my team, Simon Adingra. Simon Adingra.
Yeah.
Do you know he had more touches in the penalty area this week than anyone's had at any point this season? At 18, which is more than Ward Prowse has managed all
18
year.
is ridiculous.
And he had 2 shots.
For one game?
One game. Yeah, one game in that match. Against Chelsea as well, but obviously couldn't do anything with it. He's another one, I think, his stats aren't... Darwin's stats are elite and the Adingra's aren't, but he's another player who Brighton score goals, he's playing every minute, but he's just not getting involved in the points. And it's like, oh.
No. And that's exactly what I saw in the flesh when I watched him. He was like, good player, looks like he could be a spark, but... Never in amongst the bits going on that's a threat and that will get you points. I mean, he'll get assists because
he put that comment up. FPL sort, excuse me, that comment is key.
Yeah, but he has also said he's feeling the Adingra pain as well. Therefore, so he's got empathy for you. If he did think it was a feeble effort with the image. Should we crack on?
Let's crack on.
Well, look at this lot.
We're going to go all over the place anyway.
I thank these lot. I thank them on late tackle. So you're repeating this. Can we afford to do that with cutting back time?
I didn't know you do a sub.
No.
But
I did it in late tackle.
They don't care about, thanks from Andy North, surely. They want the full black box experience.
Okay, if they want the full black box experience, then you should do it. Go ahead.
Well, thank you to our new members. The WhatsApp group was full, but Focal was in and he's dropped out. And so there's actually a couple of spaces, I think. So if you are interested, Godfather tier members can join the WhatsApp group. If you join, just send me an email as FPLBlackBox.com. It will be first come, first serve, but then obviously we've got the Discord channel as well, which is growing.
I did a thing on there.
I did
a thing on there.
Yeah.
I did a staged event where I watched Match of the Day 2 and just chatted to some of the members.
A staged event? It's like you put on a play or something.
That's what it's called. It's called a stage in this. Oh, come on, get with the programme. Billy, if you're listening, can you give as a quick course on...
I'm sorry, but Billy's message about banning someone for inappropriate language is...
Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. I love it. I love it so much.
They were discussing age-restricted websites, so I had to DM them and warn them. And,
it's so good. 11-year-old son.
So actually, come and join because it's a treat to be moderated by an 11-year-old.
Absolutely. What else? Where else could you be moderated by an 11-year-old? I will just read out the names quickly. Thank you to Ivorud, to Chimpy666. Love these names. Social Hermits, Jefferson Turner, Ron Waffles, 89, Killamal, Alex Holland, Henriette, and Miles Edster. Thank you all for joining. Much appreciated. Let's look at the game. Oh, God, let's look at the game then. 61 points for me, -4. Areola. Oh, my God. Yeah, he's...
Talk us through it. Come on. Talk us through it.
Areola or the team?
Well, I mean, Areola, we've all got it, haven't we? We've all been part of it. It wasn't his fault, though, the goal, was it?
No, but he's just not an asset, is he? I mean, it's Spurs this week, which they're obviously going to keep a clean sheet in because everyone's selling him for Dubravka. But I mean, after that, it's a couple of good games. But yeah, I just think for a bit cheaper, you can get to Dubravka, and we're going to be talking about that in a bit. So whether we make that move, whether I make that move, kind of depends on a few other things. But he is definitely high on the chopping block. Gabriel too, they find a way as well, don't they, to concede goals. Also amazing away from home, but at home, this carried on from last year.
Silly goals, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of getting a double up on Arsenal somehow, but Luke's in one of our WhatsApp groups and he's going, "Oh yeah, welcome to the pain if you do that." And he's right, it happened again, didn't it? I mean, we're coveting Raya, we're coveting Saliba. I spoke about Tomiyasu as well on the video today, and they're there and they're tempting, but not while they're conceding City goals. We need the clean sheets. They got 6 though, so they're top amongst clean sheets. But
I think it's frustrating though when you see as well as Zinchenko and Tomiyasu coming away with attack wins. I mean, Tomiyasu, 11-pointer, went off before the goal went in. So
and I looked at his heat map and he was further forward. Average position was further forward than Zinchenko. Now Ben White has been doing a bit of that, but when I was watching the game, he was getting forward all the time and going central as well. He was not only overlapping Saka, but also going central. His relationship with Saka is really coming to fruition, and it's being picked out now in a lot of like Arsenal fan websites about how he's working really well with Saka and how they're getting this relationship growing. He goes away for the Asia Cup, which is a blow. He's also got a calf injury, but I think it's a precaution. I do wonder, though, with the Asia Cup, whether Arteta will just flog him until then, because he might as well, right? So I wonder whether he's going to get the next 4 or 5 games. The beauty of Tomiyasu, as I said on the video he did, he can play right or left. So he's in. I think he's ahead of White on the right-hand side, but also when Zinchenko needs a rest, he's playing left as well. So I think he's really good for 4-5.
He still
when
feels
he comes
risky.
back.
Still feels risky to me.
He does. And do you want Gabriel and Tomiyasu in there? But I love the upside of a 4-5 Arsenal defender.
Yeah, he's going to be popular off the back of that haul, and with Luton next. It's a couple of tough games though for Arsenal after that.
It is a tough run the next 4.
Yeah. So he's 4-5, but then do you want to play? But then he's got the attacking position. I don't know. I'm still not totally sold. I think Ben White is going to play some games, but he has, as D Shadow says, he has been really good. Simicast with an assist. I'll take that. He's on the wall at the moment. Old Simicast. He's the only one. He's the only one who can hold his head up high out of my team.
Do you have to have someone on the wall from every season, as?
Well,
this is really going to test it this season.
I mean, do you know what it would be if it carries on like it is? And I just have a big blank space behind me. I think that's very telling. At the moment, it's him. Livramento came in though with 7 points. I was happy with that. I thought he played well, but obviously then Trippier gets the 12. So
played well though, didn't he, Livramento?
That's our big difference, Trippier and Livramento, and obviously Trippier's the better asset, but I can't afford him. Then it's Salah, Son, Saka, and Mbumo. That's very much the template for this week. All did all right, all got an attacking return. I won't complain. And then I was going to do a Dingra to Palmer for another hit, so I didn't do that. So at least
worked out well.
At least that was something that didn't go wrong. But I need to probably address that Dingra issue because I think he's due a rest at some point. I'm pretty sure he will be benched against Brentford because he has played literally every minute of every game forever. And if Matoma's back, he'll play on the left, and Buonanotte went off and scored as well. So my guess would be a Dingra kind of starts, but gets benched. But yeah, we'll see. And then it's Haaland, and Darwin in for Watkins for a hit, which was an absolute disaster. There you go.
Yelena's got a good suggestion there, bless her. Maybe you could. She
literally keeps bringing that up. She'll be happy with your London comment either.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, I didn't. It depends where you go in London, doesn't it? So,
here we go.
I'm trying to qualify
digging your way out.
The London Massive come after me. Delia's already upset with me for doing it. So
you've massively alienated our audience as usual.
They're all going. We're losing subs as we speak. My team then. Areola 2 points. Should we talk about it? Oh no, it's not worth it. Simicast 4, Trippier 12, Gabriel 2, Saka the 8, Mbumo 5, Salah 5, Son 10, Palmer 1, Haaland captain 14, Darwin the 2 points, Lascelles on the bench for 6. It's kind of hoping Palmer wouldn't come on because Lascelles would have been nice. To get a green arrow without Watkins is good, right? Trippier was obviously the factor behind that because with the team I've got, with that midfield, with that front 8, not many have Trippier as well, so that was my big differential. And some are now having to decide between Saka and Son, and they both came in, so that helped as well. So Son's goal, I mean, what do you make of Son? I mean, he looked electric, didn't he, early on? He's got that pace back. I don't want to get rid. That was a good move holding him, I think.
Just summed up Spurs, didn't he? Really, with an own goal and a goal and an assist and crazy.
They're fun, aren't they?
Crazy game. Great. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, we both had them down to get a bit of a battering, didn't we? But they played really well and not compromising on style. Yeah, I'm really happy with Son. I go into every week thinking he could get something, and I can't say that about a lot of my players. So yeah, he's probably a season if he carries on playing up front the way that the Spurs are playing, and they're going to have Maddison back kind of in the new year and things. He's a
depends how many games he'll be losing for on the Asia Cup, isn't it? Because obviously he'll go from 21, I think it is, and it could be for 3 or 4 games. So that, I mean, I've got money tied up in him, so that would be a difficult decision to make when you've also got Mbumo and obviously there's that Salah fella as well. So there's quite a lot to think about around that time that it's starting to come into our thinking, isn't it now?
It's a blast in the past that you probably won't remember. So I was watching back on last year's episode, and this was kind of in and around when you started to turn it around a little bit. Don't know if you remember, but you had Salah captained away at Spurs this time last year.
Did I?
And he got 15 points, and no one really had him because I think Liverpool was struggling a fair bit, and he was quite pricey, and everyone had gone for Haaland or maybe De Bruyne and other players. And yeah, Salah came in for you, and this season,
that's right.
He's been one of the reasons why you started off so strong. You had him quite early.
I've always been loyal to him, apart from last season at the start. So, I mean, I think I was saying that the mistakes of previous seasons do kind of play on your mind when you go to the next season, don't they? So, knowing that I started the season without Salah last time out and backed Son and Kane, and it didn't work out, and Salah returned well. I still stand by the fact he wasn't playing well last season at the start of the season. I remembered that and thought, well, I can see the template going the way of no Salah, because everyone was going, well, you can get Bruno, you can get Rashford, you can get Odegaard and Saka. Why did we need Salah? And it's like, okay, well, you go and do that, and then I'll gamble.
That's what I did.
They don't do well. Yeah, exactly. Well, the majority did. I mean, all the models were saying that was the way to go, and not to have Salah and Haaland. So I knew that a lot of people who follow models were going to go that way. So going against it isn't hard when that player you're going against it with is Salah, right? So it wasn't much of a gamble. It's not like a stroke of genius or anything. It's just, I'm going for the best FPL player ever instead of not going with him. I can't really take any credit for it, but it was just, I think the memories of how I started the previous season without him made me think, no, I'm not going to do it to myself this time. And it's worked out because he's done well, but also the money thing was really helpful, I think.
I think it's interesting because you look at kind of premium assets, and I think Haaland last year, like particularly to this level. I mean, we look at our ranks. I was like 1.3 million. You were like 4.6 or something, and that's because we both missed out on that hat trick of Haaland against Palace and a couple of other kind of big hauls. You wildcarded him out, didn't you? Like a few weeks after that.
I wildcarded him out for De Bruyne because De Bruyne scored well, and I thought, well, I can cover it with De Bruyne. It was disastrous.
Yeah, but I think that was like a real case of that player not being able to cover. But I mean, you look at people this year who have gone without Haaland. A lot of them are doing well. I've seen people with 35k haven't owned Haaland since like Gameweek 3 or 4. Luke's doing really well in the mods and cons too. So yeah, there's
different ways of playing.
Different ways of playing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I backed Kane over Haaland, and in the end of the season, Kane wasn't far away from Haaland, was he? But I just backed it at the wrong time. I backed it at the start of the season when Haaland was going mad. Yeah, it is. It's all timing.
And patience versus, taking that punt, and you're getting it wrong and just get punished so hard.
Imagine selling Watkins and going Darwin in a week where Watkins gets his second 11-pointer of the season. I mean,
who would do that? Bloody Watkins, I captained him against home at Fulham.
Who would watch people? Who would watch people who do that? That's the question, isn't it? That's even worse.
Says a lot about the listeners.
I'm driving them all the way
stop,
to
stop pissing off our audience. This is the great and the good table.
Mixed bag, isn't it?
Yeah, very mixed bag. Mostly Haaland captainers. Seb went for Salah. FPL Guns took a bit of a punt on Darwin, which obviously didn't go very well. Yeah, Fabio was the lowest scorer, 41, 1.1 million. I don't think Fabio's ever been in the millions at this stage. Do you?
Don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because, you can get a high rank and you can be like 1.1 million and easily still come in the top 10k. So it's not... But like I said at the top of the show, there's content creators and there's seasoned, experienced managers who for the first time are having tough starts. And for some of them, it's new. I mean, Fabio, like you say, he's ultra consistent. It's the best FPL manager out there in terms of his record. So, you can't say he's going through the scale of stuff we went through when we were 4 million, but 1.1 million that's still not a bad rank at this stage of the season. I think I heard, I think it was Praz saying, like, if I'm in the top million come the turn of the year, then I think I'm fine, and that's right.
That's what I'm aiming for. That's still what I'm hopeful for. I'm ahead of Neil.
Turn of what year? 2027.
Very good. I'm ahead of Neil, scout editor. He's 3.8 million. He's having a really tough time. There's. I mean, and Neil is so consistent as well. You look at his
problem is
history.
X-Mins, and he never gets that right, does he?
Useless. Sign up to Funny Football Scout, by the way. Great website for all your.
Oh yes, yeah, of course, yeah. Let's just slag the team off.
Our audience and our sponsors. Yeah, good.
This is great. This is a winner. Should we delete this one from YouTube immediately?
I think we're gonna have to. But yeah, I mean, you're second, obviously, in the great and the goods, having a good season. Andy's kind of mid-table. Luke's not in the great and the good list. We should probably get him in. See where he's stacking up, but he's ahead of you, isn't he?
Andy North's not meant to be, but he nagged Greyhead until he let him in, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that's nothing to do with us. We didn't influence that. That's just
that's a very good point.
That's pure spam.
Oh, I forgot about that because it was the bet, wasn't it? They had a bet.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Roman says, "Hey, Az, you're off the bottom. Yay!" I've been off the bottom for a while. Phil Guns and me have been battling it out.
Yeah, he is. The person bottom did win it last year, so could be forgiven for being kind of off the ball a bit this season. As did you win it last? No, you didn't, did you? You did beat me by 1 point, though. So
that's the real quiz.
Shut up.
I'm going for the cup this year.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by going for the cup then? What are you going to do? Are you going to throw your league position?
Yeah, maybe. I might make some strategic transfers. I might see someone with, Decore in and be like, better cover Decore this week.
Okay. So has a draw been made? Do you know your opponent?
Yeah, I've got to buy.
Oh, well, no wonder you're saying you're going for a cup because you know you're through first
already
round.
Through.
Progress already.
The cup dream is on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Good. Right, let's take a look at some data. Then this is the team. Is this right? It's right. Data. This.
Yes, thank you.
Every week now to the end of the season.
I know. That's good. It's fun.
Any big changes? I mean, we've talked about Arsenal, Man City, and Newcastle. I think to death. Really. I mean, Chelsea are in fifth. Are you looking at a Chelsea defender?
Yeah, Cole Will got the goal this week.
Yeah,
back in the team at left back. Obviously, Reece James is the sexy pick, but if you can't stretch to that, then Cole will do us well. I think, and that's the way I'm likely to go. I think getting a Chelsea defender for their run, if you're not spending too much, is worthwhile. If you're going Reece James, it is a bit much. I think it's quite expensive. So you're banking on some attacking returns. As I see, you're quoting 20-year-old TV shows. What's that then? What did you quote there?
Partridge, isn't it? That's the real quiz.
Oh yes, no, it's The Office.
Is it?
Yeah, it's The Office.
That's
a
fail. Much time with you.
That's upset another load of people. That has.
Well, so you pretend you didn't know, set me up, and then ridiculed me.
I didn't know what he was referring to. I didn't say. Anyway, so Chelsea defenders, I think they're going to be on the menu for most. Looking down the table, I don't. People are coming off cash, aren't they? I do wonder now. He didn't play at Bournemouth. Obviously, there's factors there as the rest. Also, Kamara's suspended, and Kamara's the midfielder who drops back into the right centre-back slot to allow Cash to go forward. So the system wasn't there for Cash to be deployed in. I do wonder whether Bailey's performance low. Obviously, Emery's got to look at that and go, how do I get Bailey and Diaby in the same team? And that, for me, makes me wonder if he'll try that and change the system and play Konsa right back, go for more solidity if he's going to play both Bailey and Diaby. I'm speculating, and I like to do that, so don't worry if you are holding Cash, but it is something to watch for, I think.
He's got to be a sell though, isn't he, Cash?
I think he has, yeah. I think so. I mean, the next four's not terrible, and their fixtures do pick up after that, but I think there are better options now. We talked about Colwell already. I think that you want to try and prioritise getting a second Arsenal defender in my book, given how far ahead they are. And I mean, they're even further ahead when we look at the next last 6 game weeks. They're like 0.6, I think. Yeah, 0.64 XG conceded on penalty. They have had good fixtures over the last 6, so that's part of it, of course. But I don't think we can doubt they are the strongest defensive side in a season where clean sheets are just hard to come by, aren't they? What are you doing defender-wise? What are you looking at midterm?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to find a bit of attacking potential. I like Porro, for example. I know like the team data defence here over the last 6, Spurs are 19th. But I look at Porro playing in that midfield role, and I think there's points coming for him. Potentially quite a big haul. I think Trippier's got great fixtures coming up as well. I think he's got Fulham, and let's take a look at the ticker. I think there's Fulham coming up, Fulham at home. Then Luton away, then Forest. I mean, that's for people like me not having Trippier. That is a real concern. That's 17 to 19 bracket. not having one like that. But then it's really hard to know kind of where else to go. I think a Colwill's nice. I think a Gabriel, and then I mean I'll stick with Simicast, I think. But you look at Gameweek 17, 18, Man United, Arsenal. They've got Newcastle in 20. Gets a bit trickier.
Yeah, I don't think we own Simicast for the clean sheets, though, do we? We own him because he's a 4-5 playing in a team that's attacking, and he takes set plays and he gets crosses into elite strikers like Darwin. So, you know, it's like that's why we've got him. But I think that that was a joke, by the way, for anyone.
Always good to clarify that.
I think he's worth holding on to, and I think, you know, you've got to have one Newcastle defender. While there's Lascelles and Livramento in there at 4 million, 4.3, one of them is worth owning. We did hear today that Botman. We heard for about the 5th time in the last 10 weeks.
There's a picture of him
back in training. Oh, there's a picture now. Is there? Okay.
Unless it's one of those tweets where it's like an old picture from like 2 years ago, but.
Okay. I won't believe it until I mean, who knows how long the recovery is going to be. I'm not panicking as a Lascelles owner, but actually when we get on to the keepers, I'm probably going to get rid of Lascelles soon anyway.
Yeah, so makes sense. Just one other thing I want to mention here is Manchester United. They are in 17th over the last 6. And you might think, oh, okay, you know, it's only the last 6. Well, they've had some of the easiest games, 2.49 on your ticker. So that puts them sort of just ahead of like Sheffield United, Spurs in 19th, and then Luton right down in 20th. But over the season as well, they're 16th. That's below Burnley.
It's poor, isn't it?
Sort of only just ahead of Fulham and Bournemouth. And, you know, when there's questions being asked about Varane, you know, dropping, he's like 5th choice centre-back now. There's big questions being asked at Manchester United.
They've kept some clean sheets, though. I mean, they haven't done, you know, in terms of output in fancy, they've kept some clean sheets, but obviously they've conceded chances. And Nana has made a lot of saves. I think when we get to keepers, we'll see that. So, yeah, I mean, Maguire at 4.3 is another defender that at that price, it's worth looking at, I suppose, when the fixtures are good. But yeah, I don't have confidence in their defence.
They got 3 in a row, three clean sheets in a row: Fulham, Luton, and Everton. But you look at those stats and think, well, if those stats are that poor against those sides, okay, they've got the clean sheets. But now they're going into a run. They've got Chelsea this week, Palmer, for example. It looks good. They've got Liverpool away in 17. I mean, they could have a field day. Darwin Núñez coming through finally in that game. And there's a few people still with Maguire kind of knocking around, isn't there? I mean, Shaw's back, 5.2. We've seen him play.
Yeah, it's too much.
Play the last games, but yeah, he's probably a bit much. And the data is very good. Yeah. Let's look at attack. Liverpool right at the top. That's why we're investing so heavily in them. Newcastle in second. Anthony Gordon scores again.
Yeah, it's relentless at home, isn't it? And that's the concern when we start to talk about Dubravka, and the factor there is we need a slot for Gordon, I think. There are some concerns here, though, because Wilson's apparently a week away. So Wilson back means that Isak could play left in order to get Gordon a rest. And there's Barnes coming back as well. We expect him to be probably fully fit by New Year. So maybe Gordon's time as a first choice and every week is limited. He's in their best 11. But what I'm saying is he's been flogged. And obviously the minute Howe can rest him, he'll surely look at it and go, I need to give the kid a break and give him a couple of games off. You'd have thought, maybe not though, because he's become integral, isn't he?
I think he's absolutely superb. It was such a good goal as well, and he was just the way he got onto the end of it. I haven't seen that from him, you know, in kind of his early days. Or I mean, he had a good spell at Everton, didn't he? But he never looked like that clinical. Like he was going to be on the end of things and being so instrumental in the build up and making things happen. His improvement has been absolutely brilliant. And I mean, I just think like we can worry so much about when's a player going to get a rest, you know, when's it going to happen. Then you look at someone like Adingra, who just plays every minute because he's just a fit player, clearly. And then you look at Palmer. I mean, Palmer got like a small knock in training and got benched. No one was expecting that. Anyone can get a little rest or a little knock. I just don't think we should be making transfers based on who could miss out, trying to predict who's going to play when and all that.
I know, but I think I look at my midfield and go, well, in order to get Gordon in, I've got to either lose Palmer or I have to lose Mbeumo, really, out of what I've got. I mean, obviously, during the Salah phase where they're off at African Nations Cup and all that, that's a very different environment, very different landscape. ordinarily low, I've got to lose a good player to get Gordon in. So to do that, I want to see the Gordon we're seeing right now for the rest of the season, as in he's on the team sheet every week. There's no anxiety, no concern. Is that going to be the case when Isak and Wilson are both fit and when Barnes is there as well? Probably not, depending on how deep they get into Europe, whether they get through, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when they bought Barnes, I thought that's an upgrade on Gordon. You know, I love watching Barnes play for Leicester, but now I'd be absolutely amazed if Barnes came back and won that spot. That's how good he's been. What do you think of
funny. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, I was watching the England under-21s and Palmer and Gordon were absolutely outstanding and Gordon was player of the tournament. And I thought, is there any learnings going into the season? I was like, nah, because Gordon would be second choice to Barnes and Palmer, he's not going to get in that Man City team. Look how it's turned out. Yeah. Those two are in a lot of teams. There you go.
Good on them though, and it's nice, for England as well, going into more tournaments with more options if Southgate picks them. I mean, he has done with Palmer, but sure it's only a matter of time before Gordon, gets a bit of a run as well. Who'd you pick? I did an article last week for Scout on Gordon versus Palmer. Really close between them, like across so many different metrics.
I'd have both.
It's unbelievable. That's don't sit on the fence.
Oh, so there's a gun to my head, is there?
Well, I've got to buy one this week.
I would have Palmer.
That was what the conclusion I came to, but it is close.
For me, fixtures are better. I do think that his place is more secure, believe it or not, even with Nkunku coming back. There's a lot of people saying, it could all change when Nkunku goes back. Maybe, but I think Palmer's become the boss of that team. He shouldn't be at his age, but I think he has. I think he's so integral. I think we'll see. We'll see if he continues to grow, and he might have a patch where the youth and inexperience tells and he starts to drop off. But every game I've seen him in, he's been their best player. So let's see what happens at Old Trafford. He's 25th on this list, 0.47, really good returns, and Gordon's not far behind. I think is he above him even 22nd, 0.50.
Just above him. Yeah.
So, yeah. I'd want them both because of the value they bring, and obviously Palmer's got the pens, which has got to be a factor. There just is that nagging concern with Gordon that surely he can't play every game. He's going to have to be rested at some point. And also he will get his minutes curtailed when Barnes is an option. Surely. He's going to be taken off on 70-odd minutes regularly, I would have thought.
Do you think Palmer's had his rest now and that makes him a bit more nailed on going forward?
I think when Nkunku comes in that he might also get subbed early. But less so than Gordon, I would say.
Yeah.
I think Sterling goes off and Palmer can move there. He can go anywhere. That's the thing.
Yeah, I like them both. I mean, one of the interesting things I found from my research for the article, I was trying to get it up. It's asking me for an authentication key, which I can't find. My phone's downstairs. But it was the conversion rate of Chelsea versus Newcastle, and Newcastle's conversion rate of goals is seems unsustainable. I think it's like 20% or 21%, which is like highest in the league. Absolutely massive. Chelsea's is like 12.5% or something like that. And everyone's kind of saying, they're really struggling to finish. If you go back to their season a few years ago, when they were the third highest scorers in the league, just below Liverpool and Man City, they had the conversion rate exactly the same, 12.5%. Yeah. So
it's nothing new then.
No, exactly. And I just think we're seeing Chelsea now just starting to click a little bit more. They're starting to score more goals as well. It's a really good fixture run coming up. And I do wonder if the injuries will eventually catch up with Newcastle a little bit, whereas with Chelsea, they're getting Nkunku back and players back.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a quote here, Steve saying, "You're trying to convince yourself there, Mike." I'm not. I want them both. I don't want to rate one over the other. I haven't got Gordon, and it's not because I don't want him. It's because Mbeumo for the Luton game was kind of essential, and his data as we see here. I mean, he's fifth in this one, but he's top of the last 6 game weeks. So I think at the moment, Mbeumo is very difficult to avoid, and I'm not going to drop Saka, Salah, or Son at the moment. So it is Palmer or Gordon, and I've got to go Palmer because of the fixtures and the pens at the moment. But yeah, I'd want them both. I mean, if you had 6 midfielders, Gordon's in our teams, right? Yeah,
it's annoying with me because I kind of want to get Gordon just because you haven't got him to kind of try and get someone a bit different. Yeah. I think I came to the same conclusion as you did. There's barely anything in it, and I think the pens just swings it to Palmer for me. And he's that little bit cheaper. I mean, Gordon's 5.9 now. Has he gone up to that? And
who's that?
Palmer's,
Gordon 6.
Yeah.
Gordon
Is he 6 now? Wow. Yeah. And Palmer's
so.
5.3 for Palmer. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It just seems ridiculous value. So, yeah, he's probably the one I'll get, but I do also really like Gordon as well. Anyone else in attack you want to mention here over the last 6?
No, I think it's what we expect. I'm surprised Forest is up there in 11th, but yeah, we really struggled against Everton creating. I think United is surprising, I guess, as well. No, I mean there's nothing there that kind of leaps out.
Brighton in 17th,
other than Bournemouth. Bournemouth's climb has been fantastic, and we got to give them credit, and they got the result. They were unlucky not to get the win against Villa. I think it's 10 points from 15, and Iriola has turned it round, and Solanke is proving you wrong as. So yeah,
Solanke with his 1 goal in 3 games, just like you predicted.
Well,
a few weeks ago.
Yeah. That's what he's getting. But I think he's got 1 every 2, isn't he, this season? So yeah, and I think that maybe when we went Darwin, we should have gone Solanke because he's proving to be consistent, and Bournemouth are definitely on up, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, did we mention Brentford top of the last 6?
Yeah, incredible.
On here? Yeah, really
I
impressive.
What will happen though when they lose Mbumo and Wissa for the AFCON? That's the problem. So that's going to be a big blow to them.
Yeah, but that's future us's problem because we'll have sold by then. So don't have to worry too much about that. Keepers, they're the poster boys for this episode. Dubravka is at the top of the list. Points per 90 of 18. Not sure that's going to carry on, but
I only included them because normally they'd be filtered out for the few minutes, but I only included them just to remind us we should talk about them. So we've got ourselves 3.9 keepers who are active. Kelleher, Dubravka and Bentley. What's your assessment of the situation?
Well, I just think Dubravka's an easy pick, isn't he? I don't think there's much to debate. What's happening with Sarr? Is Sarr out for a while as well then?
Well, we don't know how long for, but
amazing performance from Bentley when he came on.
Yeah, he's a good kid. But actually, pre-season people were saying that Bentley will challenge Sarr and could get the nod. So I think that one's not cut and dry. If Bentley comes in and does well, he might well stay in. But Wolves haven't kept a clean sheet all season, to my knowledge. So they haven't. Well, he has, but he didn't. He didn't, if you know what I mean. So
3 saves, 3 bonus, wasn't it, as well for him?
Yeah, incredible. Did you prepare the screen on Dubravka, by the way? The one because you missed the one on Darwin. I wonder if you missed the one with the Areola Dubravka rotation.
Nope.
Because the key question for me is, yes, I agree, he's probably a buy.
I completely missed these on WhatsApp.
Did you?
I wasn't.
Okay,
well,
right.
You don't normally WhatsApp them to me, to be fair. You normally...
No, I don't. No, so it's fair enough. You just ignore my WhatsApp. It's fine, listener.
Get the hint mark.
Yeah. So the question is, do you bring? Yeah, this is Dubravka's season record. And what the point of showing this is just to remind ourselves what our actual experienced Premier League goalkeeper he is. If you go back to 21-22, he had 26 starts there, and 19-20 ever present, 18-19 ever present. He is not wanting at this level. So a lot of talk today is, well, Newcastle, if Pope's out for 4 or 5 months, and that's what we think, right? Pope has had a shoulder dislocation before whilst at Burnley, and he was out for 160 days or 3 or 4 months, right? And the news today is it could be 4 or 5 months. It might even be he misses the season, right? So first of all, the first fact is Newcastle won't have Pope in goal for most of the season. The next thing is they've got Karius and they've got Dubravka. I think they've got is Gillespie the next keeper? I think they've got 4 keepers, right? So are they going to go out and buy a keeper in January? Are they going to go and get David De Gea, who's a free agent? I don't personally think so. I think that he's going to back Dubravka. This record would highlight, he's a reliable keeper. I saw some tweets today saying he's probably, if you put him in a Newcastle team, he's in the top 10 keepers in the Premier League, right? So let's remind ourselves that he's a quality player. So I think he's fine, and I think it is a gift. But the question is, do you move your first choice keeper to him, or do you set up a rotation? So do you go Turner to Dubravka and keep Areola, or do you on
the fly,
or do you just use him as first choice? So what we're showing here on the screen is the rotation with West Ham, which is absolutely brilliant, right? You go on to the Fancy Football Scout ticker, an excellent ticker, and an excellent website, and particularly that Neil, I really love him
So well
because we
trained.
slagged him off earlier. I think if you sort by rotation, Newcastle West Ham are one of the best pairings around. No matter how long you extend the ticker out, and this shows why. If you look at the run you can get out of these two, the difficult fixtures for one team almost coincide exactly with decent fixtures for the other, and that's what you get. But would you keep Areola and do the rotation, or having had Areola all this time and seen what we get from him, just go, forget it, I'm just playing Dubravka every week? What would you do?
Oh, yeah. I kind of like having a backup goalkeeper, especially when he's a little bit cheaper. I think I paid 4.2 for him. So it almost feels like I've kind of got a 4 million goalkeeper who's going to play in case Dubravka does miss out. But then I look at Karius. I mean, Gillespie isn't even in the game, I don't think. He's still at Newcastle. I just checked. I don't think there's any risk of Karius entering in. I mean, Karius, the only time I've seen Karius play in the last few years was at the Carabao Cup final last year, right, when he was absolutely hopeless and pretty much cost them the game, as we've seen him do before. So I can't see any risk with that. I do agree with you about Dubravka. He's a very good goalkeeper. He's less of a downgrade than Kelleher is for Liverpool.
As we saw at the weekend. Yeah.
Exactly. But Pope is next level, and Pope has single-handedly won Newcastle multiple games, I'd say, with the saves that he's made, and in the Champions League as well has been absolutely incredible. So again, I think it's that question of tiredness, when with small squads, given all the injuries, given the fact there's the Champions League game coming up in a bit. I think it's my expectations are a little bit tempered with it. I don't think it's like you have to take a hit and move for Dubravka straight away and make sure he's in your team. I think he's a good pick. He's definitely an upgrade on Areola. I think if I was going to do it though, I would still move Turner to Dubravka.
Would you? So I'm in another camp altogether. I'm in the camp of every 0-1 counts, and I look at it and think, am I really going to rotate Areola in for Brighton at home and Sheffield United?
No, you don't rotate, but Newcastle are cursed with injuries.
Oh, well, so you just have him there as security? That's no.
Yeah.
Why? I just think you want all the money you can get. I think
you are cash mad this year.
But I just think it's useful. I hate being 0-1 out. There's nothing worse than sitting there on a Friday night at 4:00 in the morning when I normally make my transfers when I should be asleep, going, oh my God, I'm 0-1 short of the move that I really want to make, and that's my season over because I catastrophise and make out it is.
It's happened to me.
So
already
I never
this
want to
season.
be in there.
Yeah.
So no, I can't do it. I'm talking of loving cash. Have you seen Nigel's just super chatted us 50 quid?
Oh, Nigel the crab.
What have you done, Nigel? Oh, and look, and I've hidden it behind the graphics that were ill prepared by our host here. Quick, fix that immediately.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned because Billy's seen it now, and now he'll want a portion of that.
For modding ways. I was cut out the
Thank
top
you,
of
Nigel.
the super
Stop
chat.
thring us money. That is incredibly generous.
That is ridiculously
generous. And we will have a
generous.
drink on you at Christmas for that. That's amazing.
Just to read it out, it says, Merry Christmas, chaps. It's not too early to say that. I'm not in a Christmas jumper yet.
There's no tinsel behind you.
Is it too early?
Any tinsel.
No, is it too early?
No, I think from December the 1st, the tree is up in our house. Where's you?
Okay. I did wear my Brighton Christmas jumper to a meal the other day. But
right, okay.
Yeah.
Intentionally, or were you just short on clothes?
Yeah, well, I'm wearing the same jumper as last year.
Exactly. I didn't want to say.
Here's something towards some presents. I'll get some new lights. Thanks, Nigel. Thank you for everything you've done in 2023. The streams of friendship and bringing me into the BlackBox family. We should be thanking you, Nigel.
Nigel, you've been incredible, and the work you did to set up Discord, the work you do helping the moderation, and the kind words that keep us going when we're having a bad season is really worthwhile. It's fantastic, and as is all the support we get. So
fair play, Crabs. Hope you can still afford presents for your family.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, God, dear. No, thank you. We'll have a drink on you. That's fantastic.
And Billy will get 25 quid. So nice.
Yeah, no, he won't. No, has he left the chat now? I'm trying to. Delia, can you ban him? Thank you.
Bedtime.
So I'm going to go all in on Dubravka, I think, because I just think that it's a gift. Now, the concern for me is if I go that, I'm going to have free Newcastle, so I have no slot left to get Gordon in. So that is why Lascelles, I'll have to make an exit plan for Lascelles to give myself the opportunity to move to Gordon when I need to. I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know. I've talked about selling Mbumo for 18, but maybe I won't do that because Mbumo's fixtures after 18 in 1920 are good enough. I think he plays Forest in one of them, and then he might leave for AFCON in 21, which at that point I may well sell him for Gordon, depending on what the status of Gordon's minutes are. So I want the option. So Lascelles is going to have to go soon, so I'm having to look around now for a replacement.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Maxing up on triple Newcastle defence. Wow.
Well, second best defence. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Especially, you look at the prices of the players. Okay, Trippier's a luxury item. If you can get two of the best defenders, best defensive assets in the game for 3.9 and 4 million, you're winning, aren't you? So I think you've got to take it. I think it's a gift.
So would you do it for a hit this week?
No, wouldn't get to Booth unless the money's a problem, because he will go up. He's going to. That's the other thing. Even if it is short term and Karras comes in 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to make 0-1 at least out of it because he'll go up 2 or 3 times. I would have thought.
Yeah,
he's going up tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to just be able to do Areola or Turner to Dubravka this week, but I think I've got to deal with Adingra.
Yeah,
it's all about kind of trying to work out which is going to get you the most points over a week, and I don't know. That's my kind of dilemma this week. Let's take a look at some defenders.
Yeah.
Anyone
I'll
on
tell
there?
you what. I think if you look at the next 6, that's more telling.
Is it?
You look at the last 6, because look at the names at the top.
Yeah.
It's like,
here we go. Some attackers, some attacking defenders. Yeah, Trippier at the top, 0.44. Trent finally appearing on this list, 0.35. And then Reece James, 0.34, just behind him. And James obviously back and massively under the radar.
Yeah, what do you think of Trent then? I mean, do you think he's ever going to be a factor in our seasons?
I want to say yes so much.
So do I. I love him.
And I look at Robertson and Simicast and the other defenders and think, well, you're not going to be able to cover him with any others. I just can't see us being able to afford 8 million for him.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to because you've hoarded all your money for the last...
I don't see it. I love him as a player, and I think he would have to be relentless with returns before I would move off Trippier for him. I think at the moment, and yeah, it's too much unless we sell Salah over AFCON and don't get Salah back. But that doesn't seem like it's going to happen, does it? So yeah, I mean, maybe a little flirtation with Trent over AFCON might be the way to go if you're selling one of Son or Salah. But it's great to see him back in as a factor, and maybe he will yet be a player that we sign. So we'll have to see. What else is on here? Tomiyasu, yeah, I talked about him. We talked about that already. One to keep an eye on for sure. Colwell down there, just to highlight that he's back in that Chelsea team. Anthony Robinson's been fantastic for Fulham recently. What's going on there?
I don't know. These players just come out of nowhere. Mikolenko a few weeks ago. And Robinson now. No way are we going to be buying... I mean, I've got Mark Gahey, though, who is just... Why did I buy him a few weeks ago? What was the point of that? I'm not even playing him. I know. Yeah. I'm not even going to play him. Now the fixture's turned for Palace. It does make me think maybe a player like Robinson, who's actually featuring... fairly prominently. 0.19. It's not... I mean, actually, that's level with Mark Gahey.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, he does... It does look like they're getting those fullbacks forward a bit more.
I mean, I'm still hopeful Ain't Nouri will be fit for the midweek game against he's got Forest on Saturday, so I hope he's fit for that one. He may even be fit for midweek, because I like Ain't Nouri as well, but I don't know. I mean, whether I can hold Ain't Nouri and Simicast, I've got to get rid of Lascelles, I think, with the Gordon problem I'm going to have. So he's going to be the one of the 3 that goes first. But yeah, Ain't Nouri and Simicast in that order will probably be next. I will shuffle it around, and Colwell will probably come in, and maybe Tomiyasu. Maybe I will go there.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Anyone else you want to talk about here?
No, I think that's it. We want to keep the pace going up. We've got about half an hour left. Let's keep the
pace up. Let's look at midfielders. I mean, Adingra doesn't even feature anymore. He's like 95th or something in the list. As there's someone in the chat asking kind of what the issue with him is. There's no like massive issue with him. I just think he's using up a pretty precious midfielder spot. And if you look at this list, looking at players like Mbumo, like Saka, like Son, like Gordon, who we've mentioned, like Palmer, even players like Diaby. I know he missed out, but we know the Villa are so kind of strong at home. I mean, there's just so many. Bowen's back now. There's just so many picks I'd rather have over Adingra. So, that's why I'm looking to move him on.
I've got one of your favourites to talk about. Look at number 31 in the list there, and then switch to last 6 matches.
Oh, Philly.
Look where he's there.
Oh, Philly Foden in 4th. Yeah.
So 5 starts, 3 goals, and his XGI on penalty of 0.59 puts him 4th overall, behind Trossard, who's had 3 starts, and behind Sullivan and Brumo, who are obviously elite assets this season. Is that run timed perfectly for the double game week, you think? I mean, if you were going to go another City attacker, would it be Foden? Would it be Alvarez? Where would you go?
He's finally getting that run of starts that we you know, he's I think it was in game week 11 he played 45 against Bournemouth. I'm not sure if he started that game or came on at half time. But in every other game this season since game week 4, he started. I mean, over the last kind of 6 games, he's got 3 goals. It's not like he's not exactly setting the world on fire, but he is finally getting that run that we've wanted to see from him for quite a while, and question whether he would ever get that run if Pep fully trusted him. But he is. Yeah, I like him. I mean, obviously there's a blank in 18 to contend with.
It's not yet. It's just it's interesting to see him climbing this table.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
He hasn't been a factor.
No, we know what he can do. We know what City can do. I still don't think City are there. I mean, they're conceding so many goals and having to score more goals. 4 against Chelsea, 3 against Spurs. Yeah, absolutely. But so the attack is there, but they're still, I don't know, they're a bit kind of, you watch them play and they're good, but maybe not the levels we've seen them at in previous years.
I agree with you. I thought the game on Sunday was odd in that they got 2-1 up, and then it was almost like, we're just going to manage this out now. Is that okay, Spurs? And Spurs went, no, we're not. We're going to go and equalise. And then they did. And then City went, we've got to show interest in scoring more goals, have we? And then they did. But it needed Spurs to punch them in the face for City to wake up again.
That's it.
They kind of just quickly reverted to, we're 2-1 up. So at this point, the opposition just let us play around with the ball and we managed out time, right? That's the arrangement. And Spurs went, no. But that's almost what City default to. They don't go, well, we're 2-1 up, let's get a third, let's get a fourth. And I don't know whether that was because of the opponent and they were cautious of being caught on the break. But in the end, they kind of got what they deserved. They dropped 2 points, which I think was quite right.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. There's something odd. And it makes me worry about the Villa game with dropping Watkins now, because I think, well, Villa could fancy that.
No Rodri as well for City.
Yeah.
He's suspended.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the Watkins pain may well continue, unfortunately.
And Diaby, I mean, they seem to, when you get quick plays against them and there's a little mistake, like you saw it for Son's goal, the ball came over, missed the header, Son through, bang, goal. Like, that's what Diaby's going to thrive on that. You thought he'd be back in the side, they're going to play that high line, no Rodri, lose the battle in midfield, quick ball over the top to one of Watkins or Diaby. Could be goals in that one again.
And Nigel's saying they don't have a clean sheet in them. No, I think it's 1 in 8 now they've got. So we talked previously about, well, there isn't a City defender to go for. I mean, Luke picked us up on that and said, well, actually Walker's been ever present. And he has. And that is a good point. But at the moment, with the blank as well, we're not going there. Now, we might, when it comes to the double, depending on how that falls, and we think it's going to fall kindly with Brentford and Sheffield United at home, I think it is. So we would look at a City defender in that scenario probably, and it would be Walker. But at the moment, we haven't discussed City defenders because they just haven't been returning output, have they?
No. And when it comes to 18, we're going to be looking at ways to target. I mean, Doku looks great, and that is just an easy kind of ball. They get it to him, and he skids. I mean, him against Ben Davies at times looked like it was going to be an absolute disaster. In the end, he went off injured. Grealish came on, played pretty well. I thought big game for him, but I think depending on how long Doku's out for, I think he might be a pick.
I was frustrated by Doku because we captained Haaland and I was watching the game and Doku got the ball in space a lot, but so often he just delayed getting any kind of service into the box. His first instinct is to almost slow the defenders down to take them on, and then 50% of the time he's trying to cut inside and have a shot. His first instinct isn't, right, where's Haaland? I'm going to get the ball in. Which, strangely, if you look back to last season, Pep was saying, I want my players to just feed Haaland. I don't think Doku didn't. I think he missed that meeting because he's not doing it at the moment. So I'm actually pleased to see Grealish back in the side.
I mean, you take out that 22 points Doku got against Bournemouth. It's been pretty pretty poor returns from him. And you look at quite a lot of the other players. I mean, you look at Alvarez, he's been really poor over the last few, like 6-7 weeks, like since we all sold him. Look at Foden. Okay, he's in the side, but it's 3 goals in what, 6 or 7, whatever I said earlier. It's not a huge amount. And I don't know, it feels like the amount of goals they're scoring, there should be another option that we should all be piling in on, but we're just not. There just doesn't seem to be one.
It's definitely up for grabs, isn't it?
It is.
The title.
Yeah.
There's no way they're out and they're clear by any means.
Yeah, Arsenal, Liverpool and City. Yeah. I don't know who's going to win it. I went for Arsenal at the start. I think I'm still going to stick with that.
So did I, yeah.
Stick with that. But once City start purring, which they inevitably will, if Liverpool keep missing chances through Diaz, and if Arsenal keep conceding sloppy goals and start drawing games, which is what happened to them at the end of last season, City will fancy it again. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Lots of comments on this. Grealish suspended, of course, for midweek. You're right, for 15 years. But yeah, I think the general opinion. I mean, Doku, very flashy. I love watching him, but when you're trying to get goals from Haaland, it's frustrating. I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Forwards, the final one. I'm actually considering a forward this week.
Are you?
Well, I'm getting a bit frustrated with things. I mean, I think Adingra to Palmer's my easy move, or Dubravka in. I'm considering maybe Reece James in defence for someone a bit different. But I tell you who I've been really, really impressed with in every game he features, but he's not featuring enough, and I don't know why. João Pedro.
What are you doing? You're going to go to João Pedro?
Do you know he's the top scorer in the Europa League this season?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He scores in pretty much every game he's played in, and he's on pens. But I mean, I don't know why I'm asking you, but why?
I really thought you were going to get Solanke in.
Why is he not playing? Why is he Serbia not playing him? Why is Lallana can't run? Why is he playing?
He can play Lallana. Lallana gets you an hour. He's a good player. I don't know.
His
That's
legs
a good
are gone.
question. I think when João Pedro came on at the City ground, he looked electric, and I was very impressed. So I get it, I understand it, but he's not a fancy pick, is he? He can't be.
Well, my thinking is he might be.
Yeah, but we had that game week 1.
Well,
what happened?
I'm thinking short term appeal, right? As a lot of what we're doing at the moment is kind of short term. That's why I went for Darwin. It's why the short term is 2 home games, Brentford and Burnley, in the next 2. Lallana is not going to play against Brentford. There's no way he's going to start another game. So Pedro will definitely play against Brentford. His scoring rate at the moment is incredible. He's got 3 goals in the last 2 games. He's only played 90 minutes across both. Darwin and Pedro in your team, you okay? I'm not saying I'm definitely going to do it. I'm just saying Archer to Pedro, there's not a huge amount in it at the moment. One's 4.7, one's 5.3, and it's 2 weeks, and it gets you a home match against Burnley.
Yeah, I just don't think that's your ticket to climbing the ranks, João Pedro. But do what you feel you have to do. But I'm not enthusiastic about that move. I just think it's more pain. That's all. I just don't want to see you in WhatsApp go, that's it, I've had enough. He's benched again. And,
Lallana's playing again.
Oh, that's it. Toys out the pram. No, I don't like players like that who because I think Adingra, at least he's turned up for you. He hasn't been benched loads of times. That's your best you're going to get. He's turned up, all right? I've turned up. What more do you want? You want me to get some points?
I've had 1 return in 14 games from my 11th player.
Yeah.
Why is everyone saying I'm going to play with Wood? I haven't even mentioned Wood. Filthy chat. Nigel the Crab, can we consider Watkins an essential pick now?
Oh, Nigel, you've ruined it.
Had to ask, didn't he?
No, not for City and Arsenal games. I mean, they're very tough fixtures, and he could easily blank in both of those games. So I'm okay with not having him for these 2. But for 18, I think I'd be terrified of not having him.
Here we go. Oh, someone got me with that. I tweeted my thing. Yeah, I tweeted my thing. I'm like, oh, Az, would you say you're terrified of Watkins? I was like, oh, damage has been done now. Yeah,
it's only 9 points or 13 if you took a hit. Which
just flicking ahead to the captain's matrix. He is the captain for 18, isn't he? Watkins versus Sheffield United. I mean, there's Son versus Everton. There's Trippier versus Luton. There's Salah versus Arsenal. But the way Sheffield United, we haven't even talked about the potential sacking, have we?
Oh no, well I don't think. I mean, if Chris Wilder comes in, does it change a lot? I mean, Wilder's not going to, do miracles. I don't think with that team. They may improve, and we will see those overlapping centre backs again. But I don't think that's going to be a silver bullet. Maybe they'll be harder to beat, so maybe we should factor that in. But I'm still going to want Watkins. The thing is, it's like we said, if there's two clear captain candidates, you want them both to minimise the damage the other can do what you don't captain. So even if I was going to captain Son, I wouldn't think, oh, that's okay, not having Watkins, I can get away with that when 50, maybe 60% of the player base is going to captain Watkins. I'm getting into EO territory here.
You are, aren't you?
You feel uncomfortable. You're going to reach for the panic button if I start.
His ownership is lower than I thought, Watkins. I mean, when you look at some of the other players, I mean, you look at someone like Saka, for example, 56%. Mbomo's 32%. Watkins is 37%, which is, I mean, it's a third of players. But given the season he's had, I thought it'd actually be a bit higher than that. But you've got to think that's going to be even higher by 18.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, he dropped in price last night, didn't he? So, I think one of the other reasons why I want to go Areola to Dubravka means I've got $1 million in the bank, which means I can switch Darwin to Watkins and not have to worry about any price changes between now and 18. So that it'll be a simple one transfer move, Darwin to Dubravka in 18. I can do it because I'll have enough in the bank to do it. But he's gone down in price, so there's only a 0.7 difference between him and Darwin now. So I don't need the full $1 million, which means I can absorb a few rises, which I'm sure will happen. But of course, when Darwin gets his hat trick on Wednesday, he's going to go up in price. Yeah, I can't wait.
As if I'm cheering on for a Darwin hat trick. Have you got your small violin, by the way? Because I've got a little sad story for you.
Oh, we don't do the violin. That's Green Arrow. That's their USP.
Oh, is it? What have we got? Have we got anything similar?
No, well, I can invent something to represent sadness, if you like. Well,
I would like that.
I'm sure in my life I can find an item to represent.
I've still
sadness.
got that RIP music from when I got 11 points. I could whack back on. No, just tell a woe. Do you know Watkins XGI against Bournemouth? What it was?
0.12 or something.
0.18. Yeah.
Was it?
Do you know what it was against Fulham when I captained him?
No.
1.99.
Yeah, there you go.
I can't use the volume.
Who says that XG helps?
I know, bloody stupid metric. I'm just going to run over the place. Let's
what
take
are you doing now?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, predictions.
Predictions. Right. Yep, we've got 14 minutes. Then I need to head off my squash game.
Yes, listener, he is playing squash, and yes, I did ask him who I should get in next week to replace him when he's in hospital.
And I was like, "What do you mean? I won't be playing next week." No, you'll be in hospital.
I'm sure you're fitter than you seem.
I'm not. if anything, I'm less fit than I seem, and that's not good.
Our phone hitch in hospital immediately and warn them.
My dad tore his Achilles playing squash. Little faffy.
Did he? Really?
Yeah. Nasty.
Yeah. Why
have I said that?
Sorry to hear that, Chris. Yeah. Don't know. It's a fun fact for the listener.
Let's take a look at these pictures then. Yeah. So straight in. Not going to lie.
Oh yeah. Got to be, isn't it?
Wolves
Is that on telly?
Yeah,
oh, no,
they all
on
are.
telly.
They all are.
So we can.
Well, the way I thought about it was we can't really have a garden centre game for others if they're all at the same time. But this is the one game that's at a different time on the Tuesday or the Wednesday.
You could get there and back in half an hour. You could get there, get your get your barbecue bricks, and get out again, ready for Luton Arsenal, couldn't you?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you've got 45 minutes.
Bricks. What are you building?
I don't know. What do you buy at a garden centre? Your barbecue bricks, your charcoal, your wood. That's what I get.
Someone's going for fertiliser. Mark goes to build a new bloody shed. That sounds about right.
Do you get compost? Maybe I should say compost.
I don't really go to garden centres.
Do you not? You watch every game, do you? I mean, this is invented because I do literally go to garden centres when there's boring football on. Yeah. So not out of choice.
I'm not really a big planty person, so I don't really.
No, nor am I. We go for the truckles and the crackers and stuff like that.
Truckles?
The cheese truckle things you buy. At this time of year, you must know what a cheese truckle is. Look, we've got 14 minutes and we're spending it talking about cheese. I have never heard of a cheese truckle.
What the hell is a cheese truckle?
Look, chat, tell him. It's when cheese is round and covered in wax. That's a truckle.
Oh, okay.
That's a truckle.
Like the rind. Like the rind.
Yeah. And so garden centres are full of them. They're truckle-tastic at this time of year.
My dog ate some cheese rind.
This is the content they want.
Everyone panicked. I thought he was dying.
Really? What? He ate some of the rind on the cheese?
Yeah. We ate the whole thing and the cheese. But yeah, he's fine. Anyway, Wolves Burnley. I've gone for a 1-1. You've gone for a 2-0 Wolves.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And Luton only going one way. This Luton Arsenal. I've gone 3-0. You've gone 2.
Luton, I think Luton will frustrate, but they won't score. I just can't see them scoring.
Arsenal too much class, I think.
Thank you, Joe Bob.
Mm.
Oh,
what's that?
It did come up.
What?
I've never heard of a cheese truckle.
There's probably a cheese company called the Truckle Brothers as well.
There isn't as many people in the chat saying how much they know about cheese truckles like you envisioned.
Maybe I have got it wrong. I'm paranoid now. Can we stop the stream while I go and check that? Can I fact check the truckle, please? Chat, can you fact check the truckle? Cool, that was difficult to say.
Fact check the truckle, I like that. Luton. Okay, so I've gone for 2-0. Arsenal, you've gone for 3-0.
Yeah,
easy. Yeah. Brighton, Brentford.
Yeah. I've gone 2-1.
Yeah,
Brentford,
I debated this for a while.
You've gone a draw.
I've gone for a 2-2, and we do have. The one screen I actually did. You haven't asked me for it, and that's the
what?
FPL radar screen. Strong attacks
versus
weak defence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you did this one. Well done.
Did this
yeah. I just looked at this because I look at Darwin. Liverpool versus Sheffield United. If he does play, and you have to go down the line to find the Villa Man City game. So. That's one of the reasons why we backed this, because we looked at it and think, well, if Darwin does start the 3 games, then that Liverpool Sheffield United game is plum. Arsenal Luton also, you want Saka, don't you, for that? And this is back in the City attack against the Villa defence, which you have to go with. Villa do concede goals, so they're not, even at home they're not tight. So I do think there's goals in that game for City. And they might need them if Villa do score as well, obviously. Brentford, Brighton. So it's tipping Brentford. You're right.
This is what I mean. I think there's definitely goals in this one for both teams. I really like this radar. This is like a really good chart to see which games are going to probably have the most goals in that week. And Liverpool, Sheffield United. Yeah, we'll come to our prediction on that.
Anyway, more importantly, Ajit has just said cheese truckles are real. He can confirm. Thank you very much, Ajit.
We've also had Nigel saying, "Mark, you're so middle class." Has it taken you 4 years of BlackBox to realise that?
Oh Nigel? Yeah, cut me open. I'm a whole hummus inside.
What was your comment once about the Waitrose order for your cereal? That was the best one.
Oh, porridge. No, that was Deliveroo.
Was it Deliveroo? Sorry.
Yeah.
Deliveroo.
Get it right.
Palace Bournemouth?
Sorry, you don't get your breakfast delivered? Oh, what's going on?
My porridge delivered from Deliveroo.
It was lockdown. Come on. Palace Bournemouth. I've gone 2-1 Bournemouth.
Yeah, I've gone for a 1-1.
Yeah, I just think Bournemouth on a run. Aren't they? On a run. What have you done here? Fulham Forest. You've gone a 1-0 Forest.
I know. I can believe it.
Trying to get round me.
Fulham 1-0?
I think to buy you chuckles for Christmas.
I'd love some chuckles for Christmas. Chuckles? I would like some chuckles as well. They've been few and far between, especially today.
Can't guarantee that. I don't think Forest are going to win at Fulham. We might get a point, but I've gone 1-0 Fulham. Sad. Hopefully, just a better performance. I'd take that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Forest will win. I'm more optimistic. Okay. Sheffield United, Liverpool. Look at this.
I thought I'd gone a bit far with the 5. You've gone 6-0. Hello, Chris Wilder. Welcome to the Premier League again.
I mean, Burnley have just put 5 past them.
Yeah.
If Burnley can put 5 past them, surely the best attacking team in the league currently can match it, if not better it. That was my logic.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
They are really bad.
But if the new manager bounce, you never know.
But he won't be in place. He won't be in place for the game. So
no.
Dr. Pedro, it's just not an FPL show. It's Monday night.
Yeah, it is an FPL show, but it's light entertainment.
I like that you're having to confirm it. It is.
Yes, because he tuned in and we were talking about cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, Villa Man City. You've gone 2-1 Villa. Wow, that's a statement.
It is, isn't it? No Rodri. That's my main reason for that.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, it could go that way.
And I think City are light. No Grealish. Doku with a knock as well. And Villa are just. I know they got the draw against Bournemouth, but at home they are a real force. And I think City have got a loss in them coming. They've been quite lucky with some of the draws they've got.
Yep, you could be right. I did think about that, but I thought in the end that they would, the sting would be drawn and they'd score. I mean, Haaland I think will obviously be the factor. Look at me, the FPL expert.
See, told you this was an FPL show.
Yes. I'll go back to talk about cheese, I think. United, Chelsea, you've gone 1-0
sorry,
Chelsea,
just quickly, because we had a super chat from Bill. I thought I'd mention it in the Diaby to Johnson, a good move. I wouldn't lose Diaby this week.
No.
I think he could do well against City. I'd keep him.
Yeah, I mean, Brennan is playing. Who's Brennan playing? Remind me.
West Ham.
Yeah, I do think there's goals there. We've both gone 3 goals for Spurs there. So
I don't hate it,
like
but
him.
I think I'd keep him. I think I'd keep Diaby.
Yeah, I think Diaby's back in the starting 11. I do think if Bailey doesn't start, Diaby will only get the hour though. So I can kind of see, because I mean, if I was Emery, I'd want to get Bailey on the pitch somehow. So if I'm not starting him, I'm going to give him some time. I am worried about Bailey's performances because he looks like he's taken a step up. So if I was a Diaby owner, I mean, I'm not worried now because I don't own Diaby.
I was going to say,
I was still,
nice to be worried.
but that's the kind of thing that keeps me awake at night, really, with Bailey's performances. Yeah, if I owned Diaby, I would be a little bit worried now that Bailey's going to be off the bench that little bit quicker if he's not starting. And Diaby's obviously most likely to be the one making way. So, but I wouldn't sell him, I don't think.
I think Diaby's done what he needs to. He got the goal for them in the Europa League, came off the bench, set up Watkins for the equaliser in the second. So I think he starts against Man City. But and also Richarlison's back he was back on the bench, wasn't he, for Spurs? Could eat into Brennan's minutes a little bit.
Yeah, I think Brennan's a...
Yeah, but you're biased.
Yeah, I get it. I am biased, yeah.
Manchester United, Chelsea. You've gone for a draw, 1-1. I've gone for a 1-0 Chelsea. Not much in it, I don't think.
Speed up. We've got 5 minutes till squash. So get these at pace.
Everton, Newcastle. We've both gone for a Newcastle win. I've gone for an Everton goal. That's more out of hope because I probably won't be getting Dubravka.
So you've gone 2-1 Newcastle. I've gone 2-0. I think clean sheet. I've got to back that. If I'm going to get Dubravka,
you have
I'm
to.
not going to
Absolutely.
concede. Yeah.
And then I think there's goals in this one. I've gone for 3-2 Spurs because I think there's goals just follow Spurs around at the moment. Yeah. But defensively they're poor. So we've both given West Ham a goal. I've gone for 2, you've gone for 1.
Yeah. That's all good. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Should we get to our teams? Oh no.
Just quickly, just massive thanks to Lee for doing the predictions table. Again, this is a Godfather tier members perk. You can check that out in the description if you want to join. I'd just like to flash this up because I'm beating you still.
Oh, I'm not doing very well, am I?
No, you're 17th.
What's my percentage? 50.
50, yeah.
No, 50 correct results.
Yeah,
what's
50%
on this.
50%.
Oh, yeah, 49.5. Yeah.
Mine's 55.
You're 55. Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Very good.
So this is my team. We've covered quite a lot of it already. It's Areola in goal. God. Gabriel, Simicast, Livramento, Salah captain, Son, Saka, Mbomo, Adingra, Haaland, Darwin, with Turner, Gahey, Archer, and Kabore on the bench. I mean, I just think if I do Adingra,
what are you doing then?
If I do Adingra to Palmer, I've got one player different to you,
and that's Livramento,
which is embarrassing, but. It's a strong team though, isn't it? I mean,
well, I'll have Dubravka, so I'll have the better keeper. So at least it'll be a different
that's
player.
what I balances out. Yeah, that's fine. I just think I'm in all seriousness, I'm not really worrying about us. You're way too far ahead of me. I just think Adingra to Palmer is an upgrade in pretty much every sense.
Yeah, I think with the fixtures they've got to come as well.
And I think I'm going to want him. I think I could try and be clever and go for a Pedro or a James, and I'm always going to come back to wanting Palmer with the penalties and the fact he's just had that little rest.
Yeah,
so
it makes sense. I think you got to do it.
Yeah,
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, that is unfortunately what I'm going to do. Pretty boring, and that means keeping Areola and hoping he saves a penalty.
Well, you never know.
Son.
He's going to get a return in a game we don't expect, isn't he? Because he's certainly not getting returns in the games we do expect.
Yeah.
So
you'd think he would get.
Go the other way.
You'd think he'd get some saves against Spurs potentially.
Yeah. Dr. David 1963 says, "Go João Pedro and don't listen to Mark." Well, if he was born in 1963, that's a wise head. So,
and he's a doctor as well.
And he's a doctor, so maybe he's right. Who would you? So you would go what? Have you got the money to do that? Mubama to João Pedro and play him over?
I've got money to do Archer to. I could do Archer to Pedro. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that the thing is, it's very short term, and there is no guarantee that he does definitely play. I mean, those two, and I think it's the kind of move that I might do if I was doing better, and I was kind of like. I don't know. I was kind of wanting to risk it. I think I'm more inclined. Like people keep saying to me, "Why are you playing so template when you're doing so badly?" I'm kind of more inclined to play sensibly when I'm doing this badly because I just want to recover.
I did. That's what I did last season. I played template until about halfway. Then more options came up, and then I started taking.
That's it.
So you got time.
Yeah.
Dr. David saying he was born in 1963 and he is a doctor. So my next question is, what is an intelligent man doing watching this? That's what I want to know. We're talking about cheese truckles and stuff.
If you are watching this, by the way, do give us a like and a subscribe.
Oh, and also if you are watching this, you are intelligent, of course. I'm not saying that.
Highbrow.
Oh, God, I've just upset everybody constantly
You're listening to the most highbrow FPL show there is out there. Where else would you hear talk about garden centres and cheese truckles? You know?
Exactly.
Easy.
Yeah. My team then.
Yep, your team.
Areola, Simicast, Trippier, Gabriel, Saka, and it's the same as your team.
I know, it's bad, isn't
Son,
it?
Palmer, Salah, Haaland, Darwin. The podcast listeners are going, hold on, something wrong with this because I've just heard
Same team as mine. You're 90 points ahead of me.
Yeah,
Jesus
it's all about
Christ.
timing, like you say. So Areola will be out to Dubravka with the free transfer because I'll hold 8-0 in case he's back because he might be back for the Forest game. And yeah, there's no fires elsewhere really. I don't think there's a problem. So I can afford to do it, and that's what I'm going to do. And then I've got to plot getting rid of Lascelles because I've got to open that Newcastle slot up for Gordon just in case I want him. So I've got to figure out what to do there. But that's another day. Simple. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Get the 3.9 keeper in the second best defence.
Yeah.
Job done.
If you've got a free transfer and the rest of your team looks good with no major issues, I just think Dubravka is an easy pick. And
yeah,
I think everyone's saying the same thing. So it's
and my view is I'm doing it for Areola because I want the 0.3, but I don't want to lock that money in. I know he's not expensive, but it could count. And I just don't see how I'm going to want to play Areola over Dubravka. And I don't think Dubravka's going to get dropped, and I think Pope's going to be out a long time. So there you go. Yep. Case closed.
Nice.
Is my view.
Nice. Black Box Leagues. Shout out to Hardik S. If you haven't joined the league yet, do join. There's a link in the description. The code is 95GXEU. We've got Hardik S right at the top, 976 points. What a season. They're having Kevin Prendergast, Dibson Rimbo, Olevi Oya, Nicholas Redinson, Josh Hinchcliffe, Tom Imray, Dan Carrillo, BV, and Vakas Salim, all rounding out the top 10. In the Apprentice League, Mark is top with 883, 60-ish points ahead of Liesel, who is ahead of Ryan and myself. Natalie, good week for her though, 67 points, hoping she can climb the gap. And then looking at the Godfather Tier League, Richard Smith, what a season he's having, 928 points. You're ninth in this, there's only 40 in the league.
I'm slipping down.
I
know, I'll be off the screen soon. What's going on? I'm going to be emailing the Godfathers to get them to leave the league.
You have to,
so I can stay on the screen.
Well, you've pissed so many people off today, it might leave.
I'll probably got rid of a few. That's my ploy.
It's a good tactic, yeah. Avi Fracture in second, Nick Baker in third, Douglas Bonds in fourth, Richard James Neal in fifth, and James Southurst in sixth. They're all new members.
Southurst? He's almost got my name. What's going on?
Almost got your name, and he's doing better than you. Get him on the show.
That's outrageous. He's stolen my name and my place in the league. Something must be done about this. Billy, where are you?
Look at that, come into the league, 4th, 5th and 6th. That's not on. Conor Gray in 7th.
Love it.
Chris is in 8th, Mark Summons in 9th, and good old Pratik is in 10th as well. And a shout out to Dan Parsons, who's just joined the Godfather Tier League.
Oh, welcome, Dan. Yeah, and Ryan's asking, Dubravka's set to rise. Are you going early? Of course, I'm going early. You know me. I'm all over it. I'm all over
Do
the
you
price,
even
right?
need to ask that question?
Yeah.
Of course he does. That's it. We're 2 minutes over, but now I need to get ready for squash. So we're going to call it there. Mark.
Yep.
Very nice little.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
High pace.
Yeah.
Very good. Snapping. We did
high
it.
pace, an hour and a half.
That is high pace for us. I've heard people do podcasts in about 40 minutes. Have you seen that? It's crazy.
I've seen this weird news stream where someone just walks around on his camera and gets it up in about 10 minutes.
Well, that's quality content. But how you can do a podcast in 40 minutes and possibly find time to talk about garden centres, I just do not understand.
Not going to happen.
But,
not going to happen. Yeah.
But it was great. Really enjoyed that. Thank you to the listener. How many have we got watching? It's. I forgot to do smash the subscribes, hit the likes, or is it smash the likes, hit the subscribes?
We have currently got 1,346 people.
That's not bad when the Scoutcast is going on, when Andy's doing his thing over the other side of the road.
Oh yeah, they can have like
bad,
2 people watching.
If you're just about to leave, go and raid the Scoutcast. Say
yes,
raiding from BlackBox. Yes.
Oh, we've never done that before. Yes.
No, let's do it now. Go and raid the Scoutcast.
Send them over to Andy. Take him.
And then what they'll do, they'll thank us, but through gritted teeth, because they realise loads of people are arriving having watched the last, or having just joined, having watched the last half hour of our show instead. So.
And if everyone could go and laugh at Andy for selling Gordon between his back-to-back double.
Oh yeah, mention Gordon.
Double scores, then that would be.
So raid from BlackBox. Who's still got Gordon? Should be the phrase. Right? He'll love that.
Lovely stuff. Mark, you'll be back on Friday. We'll be back next week, I think. And we'll see you all very soon.
Oh, I might do late tackle in the week. I don't know yet. I'll let you know.
Yeah, you're doing late tackle on Friday, right?
Or Thursday.
Or Thursday.
Might be Thursday.
I said you're back in the week. You'll be back at.
Did you? Sorry,
you'll probably be back at some point. I'll be back next week. Yeah. Maybe I'll do a team selection.
Just don't go mad at the squash then to make sure you are back, all right?
Imagine if I do actually get hospitalised tonight.
I know, that would be awful, wouldn't it? I'll look like Nostradamus, but at the same time a bit creepy.
Oh dear.
Predicting. Yeah.
Right. Thanks everyone. See you all soon.
Bye.